with you people? Every famous nigga that gets arrested is not Nelson Mandela? Yes, the government conspires to put a lot of innocent black men in jail on fallacious charges. But R.Kelly is not one of those men. We all know the nigga can sing. But what happened to standards? What happened to bare minimums? You a fan of R.Kelly? You want to help R.Kelly? Then get some counseling for R.Kelly. Introduce him to some older women. Hide his camcorder. But don't pretend like the man is a hero. And stop the damn dancing. Act like you got some goddamn sense, people. Damn. Don't playing around here. That is not gangster. That's very not gangster.
I came up, got my name up. So when they speak of who blinged up, I'm who they bring up. Come up dissing and you'll come up missing. I'm a cutthroat baller like O.J. Simpson. I came up, got my name up. So when they speak of who blinged up, I'm who they bring up. Come up dissing and you'll
Say that again. I couldn't hear you over the sound of me myself.
I came up, got my name up. So when they speak of who blinged up, I'm who they bring up. Come up dissing and you'll come up missing. I'm a cutthroat baller like O.J. Simpson. Little homie, listen, try and serve me. I put a 25 in your back like Barry Bonds jersey. On the streets, on the beach, y'all ain't able. Cause to our shit on rappers like major labels. What's with the ice grilling, homie? Change your face. This heat'll do more than tan you to change your race. Girls love metaphor, and I love them back. Addicted to getting head, chicks call me the brainiac. Battle rap with words, war like Jihad. I write dope, flow crack, my notepad need rehab. Fuck y'all CDs, y'all can't see these or touch these. Rhyme so chronic, my soul's give you the munchies.
Ghetto America. Rolling through the hood, just stop by to say what's up. Let you know that your old baby boy ain't doing so tough. I don't know, you doing rough as a motherfucker right now. Jesus motherfucking Christ, man. What up, though? It is me, the infamous Y-U-N-G capital F. Get up out this hood was like a fantasy. The radio is playing. And what everybody say, boy, I tell you, folks don't know the half. Just to take one ride.
Who he riding with?
With you. With you. We do. Now I'm just missing you. How I wish. Like, really, who's he singing to?
Right, for real. Like,
he was wishing for underage children on this track. Maybe that's who. Maybe all them hoes that they was. I'm sorry. Let's not be victim shaming. Let's start that over. I'm sorry.
No, we here now, dog.
We're not gonna victim shame. So I will refrain from calling the young ladies hoes or bitches in this episode.
Because I know you don't want me to ruin your show and cut up on here.
Nah.
Because I was actually looking at you kind of sideways because you was bobbing your head a little bit too hard to this shit.
Look, fam. Okay. R. Kelly's a filthy nigga. There's no deny.
He's definitely filthy.
I mean, even if you take out the fact that he was raping little kids,
that's the whole number one reason why he a filthy
some
little
of them
nigga.
songs was dead ass filthy in its own right.
It's the fact that with some of the songs he got, and we actually now know the stipulations behind the songs, it makes it even worse.
And that was one of them. Like, y'all just had a conversation about this song, and you was just goofy, like,
Because, I mean, look, okay.
I told you, Thank God It's Friday is the only safe song from R. Kelly.
But it's like I know that his talent should not outweigh the bad shit he did.
But it has. That's why we're here today.
In some people's eyes, it has.
That's why we are here
Some
today.
people look the other way. Like the people who shouldn't look the other way.
We're the number one people that look
the other way.
And dog, I'm so pissed about that.
Like, I'm just a consumer. Like, I have no horse in this race. I have no dog in this fight. I received the music and I enjoyed it. So, but then it puts you in a weird space. It's like, because can we not listen to R. Kelly anymore because of the things that he's done?
No, we cannot listen to R. Kelly no more.
But then that's like saying we shouldn't listen to Michael Jackson anymore.
And some people don't.
And I respect you if you choose not to listen to Michael Jackson because of the allegations that were placed upon Mike.
Okay, my issue with, because I still listen to Mike.
I love Mike.
I love Mike. I listen to young Mike. I listen to old Mike.
I'm not listening to Mike after like the Dangerous album because it got tricky after that.
It got tricky because he was basically trying to keep up with the young man gang.
Cause that nigga got an album called Blood on the Dance Floor. I want to talk about jack shit.
That's because it was a dance album. That's what happens when you let techno DJs fuck with your shit.
Nah, fuck that.
But no, the only issue I have, the biggest issue that I have with R. Kelly music is all these allegations, all these things, and as he made music, he basically low-key pulled an OJ. Whereas an OJ got off, and he turns around and write a fucking book saying, if I did it. R. Kelly turns around and makes songs that literally tell you every fucking thing he's doing. He's just not saying with minors.
So what you're saying is that he beat the case, quote unquote.
He beat the case.
He beats the case, and then he continues to make songs that objectify women.
So y'all started this show, and on the topic of R. Kelly, and nobody thought, hey, he made a 19-minute song called I Admit. Maybe we should introduce that.
I was going to get there. That's actually going to be playing in the back.
But when you listen to the song, he really didn't admit the shit.
I didn't listen to it.
I didn't listen to it yet either. Only because everybody told me, like, dog, this is some bullshit.
I listened to probably like maybe 5 minutes or so. He didn't admit the shit. This is not like he was confessing and coming clean about nothing. He was admitting the shit that we already knew. You beat the case. You can't read. You can't write. You fucked up. Like, bro, we know this.
And I think now that I sit back and think about, like, the surviving R. Kelly, of course, that whole thing was being recorded, made, documented for a while now. We just now seeing the final product of it. So he dropped the song in light of knowing this product is coming out soon. Because literally earlier, like middle of last month, early last month, he fucking tried to bomb fucking the whole pre-screening of this shit.
That is what.
And then we all know that we don't know who called in. We don't know who made the threats. We know it came from him. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
We know it came from him. So let's do a rundown of this situation. Because a lot of generations don't really know trapped in the closet R. Kelly like we do.
Oh yeah, we grew up with them.
We were born into the 90s, R. Kelly. With Honey Love and all that shit.
Back when he was kicking over public announcement.
Right. Which they went and did a solo album that I forgot all about.
Yeah, they was trash.
To you on everybody's trash. I noticed that.
You be Bumping Bodies was their only good song.
That just sounds bad. But, he started off with the Honey Love song, and it did good. Then, of course, if you've been under a rock, there was the Aaliyah scandal.
Right.
Where he married a 15-year-old girl.
And that's my whole...
And that's where all of this starts.
Like, why didn't they nip that shit then?
See, and that's just it. And the thing about surviving R. Kelly kind of exposed was the family claimed they were always with her. So the allegations was just that. They were allegations until the fucking actual forged marriage certificate came out that they lied and said Aaliyah was 18. And that's when we found out her real age, because prior to before then, Aaliyah and R. Kelly would never tell you they were together. It's that kind of like you fucking on somebody you ain't supposed to be fucking on, but y'all all hang out in the same circle, so you dance around subjects. You dance around topics, you do little shit, but you didn't play it off like it was nothing. That's what they were doing when you look at in the moment, which made sense. Like, nigga, you ain't supposed to be touching this little girl. But when it got annulled, at that point in time, I feel like Aaliyah family should have been like, hey, get this filthy bastard out of here. You seen what he did, people. I want to press charges. They consummated their marriage. That's statutory rape. This nigga need to go do some time. But the problem was the record companies protected him. The lawyers were good. The money was long. They shut them the fuck up. Aaliyah went and worked with Tim and Missy.
When do morals trump money? Like, real shit though. Like, when do what you know is wrong and what you know is right trump the fact that this nigga's a millionaire?
If you think about this whole situation, that's the overlying question. When does morals become more important than money? Because a lot of these people were in the situation because money. I'm not saying these little girls wasn't victims and they wasn't taken advantage of, and they wasn't manipulated, but what got them there was his name, his fame, his money.
I mean, I don't feel like you should blame any of the young ladies.
I don't.
No, not you. I'm just saying in general. Like, I've seen people on Facebook and, you know, social media saying, like, wild ass shit. But I don't think you should blame them. But if you are sick, like, it's adults around you, like, where the fuck is everybody?
Those are the ones I blame. I blame his camp more. I feel like everybody should go on trial, not just dude.
Then you get on this documentary and you crying and whimpering and boo-hooing for the camera when you probably could have stopped this shit.
We know you could have stopped this shit.
Like, I get it. You don't want to lose your job because this money is great. This man is the king of the fucking world at this time. But at one point in time, you have to say what is wrong is fucking wrong. Like, tell somebody.
Yeah, because
this shit
with anything else, like, especially like you look at drug crimes, like conspiracy shit, you damn near get more than the original motherfucker that did it.
Facts, and that's the whole thing. You let this happen. The thing about it is there's a lot of shit that R.Kelly already got tried for that he can't get tried for again because of the double jeopardy rule. None of you motherfuckers got tried, so all of y'all can get hit with all that shit he's been tried for before.
Now, with that double jeopardy thing, is that only he can't be tried for those specific people.
See,
again.
And that's the catch-22.
Not the actual crime, but specific people.
And that's the catch-22 because a large chunk of those people who are making this documentary are the ones who did take him to court. So every single person that then came forward and is in this documentary, minus his ex-wife, were all part of that trial. And all these girls have already basically tried to get their justice in court. And the crazy part about that is a lot of people don't remember all these different allegations coming up on him. Because when we first did the Mute R.Kelly episode earlier this year, Juan, you remember we sat there and we ran down every single time.
It wasn't earlier this year, it's 2019.
It was early last year.
Okay, so early in 2018 on an episode of the Death Fresh Show.
New year, new us.
Look it up. It actually says Mute R.Kelly. We ran down every single... Y'all in this high two shit.
I do.
We ran down every single charge that has ever been brung up against dude all the way up into the Spotify pulling his music scandal. And it's been going on for, 20 years?
I just feel like nobody had like the wild. I just feel like all these girls, nobody had them wild ass cousins in your family.
I think they were the wild ass cousins.
No. That's not what I mean.
Oh, you talking about them ones you come over and they kicking doors?
If Kels has got a nigga that we know, or we going to see Mr. Robert Kelly.
See, but that's the thing.
It's popping.
But that's the thing with Kels. Kels kept everybody separate and kept them in different situations.
Fuck that.
No, real talk. Because you remember there was a whole part in the documentary where the main chick who was kind of telling the story, bro had her in a hotel completely separated from her family. Like, she had to get, in order for her to get calls, she had to get screened. So they would call, they took her phone, basically gave her a whole brand new number. If her moms wanted to talk to her, her mom's called like the office phone. The receptionist would then patch it to whoever's in charge. That person would okay whether or not she can talk to the girl. And at that point in time, she talked to the girl, but only for a certain amount of time. So he controlled the whole narrative of this situation.
Like, bro, let's keep it funny. It's R.Kelly. How much fucking power does this nigga really have?
Apparently a lot.
that he must got some dirt on everybody he employed.
Either
because there is no way. Like, I just can't. I refuse to believe that you motherfuckers in life is really turning a blind eye to this.
I think that the way he controlled the narrative, because, and I've heard this before from other people, not only these folks here, so I kind of believe it. It's like he kept everything in its own lane. Okay, let's just say Tone Deaf Radio is ran the same way R. Kelly did stuff. That means that hosts only interact with hosts. You don't have no control over who your guest is, when you see your guest or talking to your guest until it's the time of the day of the recording. And even then, that guest only interviews you in an undisclosed location and gets edited into the product afterwards. Whoever the producer is only talks to producer, engineer, and Robert. That's it. You don't talk to none of the hosts. You don't talk to none of the guests. You don't interact with nobody. You don't even fucking talk to the receptionist.
Oh, I'm fired because I asked too many questions.
And that's what the whole thing was. I guess if you wasn't the kind of person who asked all these questions, you played your role, you stayed in your place, you always had a spot here. If you didn't, you got fired.
Nah, I'm fired because that kind of shit don't sound right.
It don't.
It's creepy. I don't like to be talking to motherfuckers that I don't know.
Sure.
Like, that's like setting me up. Don't set me up on.
And that's what he did with his dancers and everything. Like, the dancers only interacted with the dancers. The dancers never interacted with the background singers. The background singers never interacted with the band. The band never interacted with the recording people. Like, everybody stayed in their own place. Even his ex-wife was like, when it was time for the dancers to come in, he had them niggas in a single file line like kindergarten class.
I just refuse to believe nobody had the crazy cousin that wanted to beat his ass.
Because he kept the family separated from a lot of people. Like, he cut off ties that made them cut off ties with everybody. Now, the ex-wife, even though she didn't know what she was getting into, you know, she helped Robert Reed, so she felt a little bit special. He gave her a little bit more attention. But when it is all of a sudden, hey, let's get married. Sure, and a week later, he flying you out and the whole fucking wedding is together already. That right there should give you a sign like, oh, hold on. This is a controlling ass nigga. You already see how controlling he is when it comes to recording. And I give that a pass because people want their shit to be a certain way. If you want your perfection the way you want your perfection when it comes to recording, you want shit to be done a certain way. And apparently it works because this man makes bomb-ass music. So all this organization when it comes to the music side makes sense. But when you see that this music side transitions over into his personal life where the dancers can't talk to the bandmates, that don't make sense. The background singers can't hang out with the dancers, even though we're all going on tour together. We're all in this big, happy Kelly family together. You know, like, what the hell?
Yeah, that shit freaky.
It was. Now, then there's things that they pointed out that at this point in time, I have to also look at society, and this is the part that kind of disturbed me a little bit. So, R. Kelly initially started hanging out at high schools. Okay?
That's weird.
Now, that's definitely weird. But I think what bothered me, and maybe Mimi can kind of help me understand this a little bit more as the woman on here tonight. A lot of women on Facebook were not necessarily defending him and his actions, but validating the normality of this has always happened. Whereas, and they always have had somebody who was older than a typical high schooler coming up to the schools, picking them up, they hanging out with them, they kicking it with them, like the older drug dealer dude.
I mean, it's still wrong, but I kind of understand it when you fresh out of high school and you 19, maybe 20, you go back and you fuck with niggas you went to school with. And okay, yeah, the cute girl, she's a high school senior, so she 18, you only 21. I can understand that. But when you fucking 38, why are you here, my nigga? You didn't even go here. You're not even alumni.
How old was he when Honey Love dropped?
It didn't you too old to be hanging outside of motherfucking high school.
I'm not saying that's
too fucking old.
Well, I just want to know how old was he when this shit first started. But yeah, I mean, is that a normal thing?
Hey, bro, you're 21. You've been out of high school for 3 years. You can't go drive around the college campus.
Right, because when I went to go pick my cousin up from high school, when I'm done, I felt weird driving up there just picking dude up. Seeing the freshmen, my senior year, are now seniors. Like, dog, this is the hell? Like, nah.
Like, at that point, you should be riding around fucking UWM or Marquette.
Right.
Or somewhere where you can get you some old hoes. That's your age. That's
right.
Shit. They can legally drink.
And if they didn't, they knew how to get a hold of it.
Right. They got all this other shit.
They got everything. Once you go to college, you should never want to fuck with a high school hoe because it's a whole nother world in college. There's bitches throwing you pussy just because.
Even if that's the case, because college has 18 and 19 and 20-year-olds. Why you can't pick them from there? Why you got to go where you know that it's 16 and 15 and 14-year-old? Like, I don't know. For me, that was always weird.
Right.
And I had a problem with that because dudes in my neighborhood used to do that. Like, they would be up at the school after school, and I'm like, and I live right behind Rufus King High School, so a lot of times motherfuckers was outside trying to holler at the chicks from Rufus King, like, dog,
get your old ass the fuck on, my
right.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? I don't like that, and I also don't like how people defend but say they're not defending, because they use that as a defense. Like, well, I'm not defending R.Kelly, but a lot of y'all was, okay, how long ago was that?
Right.
Most of us have been out of high school for over 10 years, the people that you're talking about anyway.
Right.
And with that, it's a lot of shit that people did and they thought that it was cool back then. But once you get older and you realize, like, dog, this is real.
Creepy.
Fucked up.
And
So they may have thought as a 16-year-old girl, like, oh, you know, it's cool. He picking me up and he got this nice car and I'm this and I'm that and, you know, he buying me this or whatever. And you feel a certain way about yourself. That could very well be true. But then as you get older, you be like, dog, that nigga was real. That was some creepy shit.
Right.
Like, that was some real rapey shit. The fact that this nigga was 21 years old, coming picking me up from school and driving me around and doing all this other kind of shit and trying to get these draws, or if he was getting the draws. But then you have some that were in that situation and they haven't had that moment of clarity, and they actually use that as a bragging moment because they don't see that there was something wrong with it. They don't realize that they were put in a very rapey situation because that's just their mindset. And those are the kind of chicks that scare me, because it's like a lot of those chicks that feel that way, like, y'all got daughters.
And I think that's what, like, when this came out the first time, I was like, get that nigga out of here. But his music is bomb, so I got to still listen to it. But then when Lily got born, and I'm sitting here holding this daughter, I was like, damn, I got to shield you from niggas like this.
Facts.
You know? Like, I got to worry about shit. Like, I do that with Tay. You don't understand how overprotective I am with Tay now that she's in her senior year of high school and she's actually developing to be a woman. So it's like, now I got to worry about you niggas trying to creep on my sister because she's built like a woman now. Luckily, my sister ain't got no problem with tasing a nigga in they nuts. Okay?
Well,
Yeah, I'm just saying, I bought her a taser. She can tase niggas in the nuts.
Oh, you never tased anyone, Mimi?
no.
Oh, well, hey.
I don't even know how to use it.
Man. I ain't saying I saw something, but I may have saw it.
Are they scary? Like, how do you...
So we just gonna skip that whole lie that was just told on air. But getting back to the point at hand, like, I have to worry about these things. And I know we sit here constantly, we joke about me being old and having all these medical problems. But my biggest fear is the fact that when they do reach that teenage years, I will be in my 50s. And there's not much, unless I get my health right and I turn fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, that I could probably do at 50 that don't involve me blowing a nigga head off.
Sometimes you gotta shoot a motherfucker.
And I definitely will shoot up a whole fucking club and then some.
Well, that's how you made, baby. So you should probably stop shooting up the club.
Now I'm gonna do it one more time.
Oh, please don't.
One more time for the road. Gotta get a son.
That's me.
Gotta get a son. She can be the godmother, so if something happened to me, she can always have that son she always wanted. But
Don't nobody want to own your kids.
First of all,
double.
I own my kids.
Double stinger.
I own my kids. So you're just going to just throw a random dart across the water?
Yep.
I ain't mad at you. Great job on that. Ow! Kind of a situation. No, but like I have to worry about things like that. And it's sad enough that I have to worry about not only them making sure they're in good schools, I have to worry about them getting their heart broken by the actual boys of their age and being challenged in school. But now I got to worry about creepy old dudes, creepy young dudes who's trying to just get them draws and because they strike out with the girls in their own age category. What was that laugh about, Mimi?
Nothing.
Look like you about to cry.
No.
I don't understand how he sleeps at night.
Apparently comfortably.
I don't know, maybe because I got a conscience.
And we all got a conscience. And now the thing that bothers me is like a lot of people.
Don't say we all have a conscience, nigga, because if we had a conscience, this shit would have never happened back in 94.
I said a lot of people.
He would have kept that shit strictly professional. You are an artist. I am the producer. Sing this fucking track. Not trying to marry a fucking teenager. Like, what?
I got to blame the media as well, too.
Chicks who 15 ain't even cute. Like, what the fuck is he on?
I was getting ready to say that now because some women that I went to high school with when they were young girls, they were not on my radar. And we're still the same age, but we're young because I didn't see the cute factor in you. Now here we are in our 30s and our 40s, and it's like, damn, you're a beautiful woman. I would have never dated you back then, but I see the growth and the beauty in you now. So my whole thing is, you are a 50-year-old man. Why do you see cuteness in these little teens? They barely got hair anywhere. So why would you want that when you can get a grown-ass woman who will gladly wax that shit for you?
Oh, dog, that wasn't supposed to be funny.
It is, but it wasn't.
I'm trying to get this motherfucker shirt.
You know what I'm saying? And I get it. A lot of women, they go with the older men because they're more mature. They don't play the games. Robert,
They go through all of that just to realize that older niggas not more mature.
Right. Sometimes they're worse.
Yeah.
They worse.
Like, they don't stop. And then you get to a point where you're dealing with all of this shit that you would have dealt with a younger nigga, except he got old balls, less stamina, and it's the same shit.
All right. And then they only want you for one thing. They ain't trying to build no future with you. They ain't trying to establish nothing with you. They just want you for your little twat, and then they gonna send you on your way. And then they extra controlling. Because he was damn controlling on all of them. He had the one chick sit in the hotel, and the only time she ever seen anybody was to get fed or for him to come fuck her.
I don't understand the mindset of a person who wants to fuck a kid.
Pedophilia is weird. And it's
and they're trying to get that shit labeled as a sickness.
And that's this right here is the number one reason why you should never label it as a sickness.
I don't think it's a sickness. I think it's a choice.
It's a choice.
It's a choice that you make.
It's a choice. Because the reason why I say it's a choice is there are beautiful women in all shapes and sizes. There's like Instagram pages that the whole thing is just showing you beautiful black women. That's
over the age of 21.
Right. There's nothing but beautiful black women. And because you are R.Kelly, the king of R&B, which I'm sad that we had this whole conversation 2 weeks ago about him being the king of R&B. Now this is really, we knew this was out, but now it's out with details.
Like, dog, as I just turned 30 last year.
Right.
I don't feel comfortable talking to bitches who's under 25.
And you shouldn't. Well, you can to 21, but I feel you.
But I'm just saying, like, and I'm only 30, and I don't feel comfortable talking to people under 25. And you, as a fucking damn near 60-year-old man, because he pushing the limit.
Yeah, he in the 50s for sure.
Feel comfortable with talking to 17-year-olds?
Dog,
I don't even want to have a conversation with you motherfuckers.
Think about it, dog. So when old girl told the story about when they picked up the young girl together, and she thought that the girl was 16 already until she broke the rule and actually had a conversation with the girl. Because that was one of the rules. Girls couldn't talk to each other. It could be 8 bitches strolled throughout this whole entire house, and there was a bitch in every room just there ready for whenever Robert felt like doing whatever he felt like doing with that bitch. No disrespect. So he had, it's like every room had a girl. The girls were never supposed to interact with each other unless it was in sexual acts. So unless he felt like having a threesome, 2 girls never seen each other. It's not like they all came downstairs and had dinner together or anything like that. They were all in each individual room. So when she said that she decided to have this conversation with this girl about like what's going on, she was like, yeah, I can't wait to, my birthday. I'm getting a new car when I turn 16. And the girl was like, wait, whoa, what? When you turn 16? I already thought you were 16. Like, no, I turned 16 in XYZ. So then she thought about when them two was first doing their things, she was 14. So I'm like, dude, at 14, you barely just had your first period. And now you've experienced sex. Not just regular sex, grown man sex.
And piss.
Now, that's a completely different girl.
The Hennessy piss.
Oh, my God.
Ew. Yeah. It's disgusting.
Now,
that's nasty.
Let's fast forward to the tape. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just ride with my age and say, like, when that tape came out, I was in college.
Yeah, because...
Yeah.
Well, freshman?
Sophomore. Freshman going sophomore. Because I started earlier than most people should have.
Because when that shit came out, I was in the 8th grade.
Yeah, so it was my freshman.
I remember sitting in English class and my homeboy walked in and was like, y'all seen this R.Kelly sex tape? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? He said, yeah, it's R. Kelly sex tape out here. And he pissing on somebody. I was like, oh, that's wild.
Now,
like,
when it was presented to us, me and my study group was all in the room, and it's like, hey, bro, check this tape out. So they popped the tape in, turned it on. It's like, hey, dog, you think that's R. Kelly? I'm like, okay, hold on. We looking. We seeing. So, like, the first time watching the tape, we not even seeing what the bitch looked like. We trying to see if this is R. Kelly.
Yeah, that was the big riff. If it was actually him on tape.
So we was like, okay, here was this one scene in this all wooden cabin looking area with this light-skinned chick. Now, because VHS was terrible back then, it was hard to tell. I was like, okay, it kind of looks like Dot. I was like, it could be Dot. I was like, no, it ain't Dot. That ain't Dot. That ain't Dot. Then there was the one where he was eating the chick out at what could have been a kitchen table, but now that I've seen it recently, it was like an office room. So he has all this hair. Now, like you said, R. Kelly been bald when he been doing music.
But at that point in time, when the tape leaked or when the tape got put out, he had put out TP2.com. He had his hair.
That's what made me think, like, okay, this looks like it could be the early stages of braids. So, like, when you're getting ready to wash your hair and get them rebraided.
Right, you fuzz up.
So, it's like, okay, that could have been Dot. So, me, I was like, this is dude. Now, I didn't know this until recently because the audio, we didn't want the audio on. Niggas didn't want to be caught in the dorm with a bitch moaning. You know what was going on. Okay. Get in trouble by the RA.
I feel you.
All right. But now that, since the thing, the Surviving R. Kelly, it was like, whole nigga was like, hey, yo, Robert, phones for you. Hey, yo, Kels. So I'm like.
So there's actually somebody saying, come get the phone.
Yes. That's why in that episode of the Boondocks, when they played the fake tape, dude was like, yeah, man, this is Robert Kelly. Yeah, it's Robert Kelly, the singer. Yes, my social security number is. Because they was talking about the fact that it was clearly said, Robert, Kells. But because our judicial system is, if you ain't got 100% proof, can't say it's you.
So the justice system can lock you up on suspicion of drugs. Yet there is a videotape with you giving a minor money, urinating on a minor, eating a minor's asshole, and you are a free man?
That's the whole thing.
How the fuck is this possible?
Now, taking consideration,
Guaranteed if we leave here and they think the car smell like weed, we are going downtown.
most definitely. Most definitely. And don't let me have to go pick up Lily or TT and the car kind of smell like weed. Oh, I'm definitely going, I'm like 6 feet under.
The motherfucker, and it's Saturday, we not seeing the judge till Monday.
Facts. My kid's going to be taken from me whole 9 yards. And it could have been the car in front of us that was smoking and we just happened to be stuck behind them because it's a single lane. I'm just saying, that's how the system works. But you also got to think about it, dog. We've had all kind of shit that were obvious and people got off. Zimmerman, the police and the Rodney King beating, OJ, you know. I hate to say this, Mike Jack, niggas got off. So this is nothing new.
I don't really think Michael did it, though.
You still got accused.
I mean, yeah, because it looked bad.
It looks very bad.
I don't think he did it. I just think Mike wanted to live out like he never had a real childhood. So when you get all this money, I mean, he ain't had nobody to play with. It's like, hey man, y'all come over here and enjoy this.
And I get that, I do. And then he probably just didn't notice the limitations, the boundaries. Like,
facts.
You're not used to dealing. You're not used to socializing people.
Right.
You don't know how to behave around people.
So you feel you get amusement park, you got games. First thing you want to invite is children.
Well, that's the whole purpose for it. We
get
that.
I won't blame Michael. I'll blame these shit ass parents. If you felt a way about a nigga having an amusement park in his backyard, you know what you should have said? Hey, little Timmy, you're not going over Michael Jackson's house. I don't give a fuck if he is the king of pop. You gonna pop your ass around this motherfucking room and play Nintendo because you're not leaving.
And I get that, and I would completely understand because I would do the same thing with my kids.
But you can't willingly let your kid go over here. Now,
now here's the thing. So also, the internet has been really saying that these fast ass girls put themselves in these positions. This is what they're saying. Okay, that's a 50-50 with me. R.Kelly basically put forth an effort to get these girls to begin with the help of his staff, which they all need to burn in hell. Okay? But once the introduction was there, the conversation was made, the pipe dream being sold, they did put forth an effort to come over there. Let's take Sparkle daughter for a niece for an example.
I mean,
she started coming over there on her own instead of coming with Sparkle. She was getting dropped off. Okay? Who was dropping her off or how she was getting there, it wasn't with Sparkle. So because she didn't have that protection of Sparkle, she ended up diving deeper into that rabbit hole than she probably should have gone. And the messed up part was she was the one that got peed on in the tape.
I can't blame the girls.
I'm not blaming them in the sense of this is all your fault. But once he got in their heads, a lot of them no going back. They got Stockholm syndrome now.
I think. I mean, it's a rap from Jump Street when you think about it, like, fam, you're R. Kelly.
True.
You're the biggest thing in music in the fucking world right now.
True.
Who don't know who you are?
Everybody.
And then like you have this power. It's like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was on stage for like 3 seconds and didn't say shit, and motherfucker was in the crowd fainting.
15 minutes. He stood there for 15 minutes.
And didn't do nothing.
Didn't move, didn't say
stood.
nothing. You swear up and down, if you didn't see him pop up to begin with,
you don't know how he got there.
You would have sworn up and down he was just a wax statue sitting there.
And you have like this superhuman like power over people because they want to meet you, like you're some of their favorite singer. It's like a fucking Make-A-Wish kid.
Yeah, of course. All right. So like that was all that and whatnot. But like I said, Dame actually came out recently, like literally like within the past few days, and he basically said that R. Kelly is the reason why him and Jay-Z started going down that path of not getting along because they started doing the Best of the Both World Tour.
Right.
And Aaliyah, because Dame said that when word got that Jay and Kels was working together because they started with the Guilty Until Proven Innocent song on the Dynasty album. Aaliyah was with Dame at this point in time.
Right.
And she was like, did not want to talk about Kels. She just never felt comfortable with dude, didn't want to be around dude, didn't want to deal with dude. And she was like, he's a bad man. I can't tell you why, I can't talk to you about why, but he's just a bad dude. And I don't want nothing to deal with that. And it all makes sense when you think about the Best of the Both World Tour. Because how did that tour go?
R.Kelly was maced and removed.
So what I'm thinking is he's used to these shenanigans and these actions with his team, going to get these younger girls, trying to have them come back. I'm thinking somebody from J-Team seen this.
Right.
And like a real nigga should,
they checked him.
Checked the fuck out of him.
And he didn't like it.
He didn't like it. So he tried to run up on somebody. Camps got to throwing hands. Fights got to happen. Kels got maced in the middle of it. I don't know if he got maced because he was winning or he got maced because he was just bogus. Shit, for all we know, a female could have maced him. That's another thing that could have happened. He pulled up on a young bitch and she wasn't going.
Hey there, Huey. Riley. I couldn't help but notice your sign, and I hope you boys aren't too upset about me having to prosecute Mr. Kelly.
Hey, man, you do what you gotta do.
Why R.Kelly, huh? What did R.Kelly do to you?
He's accused of relieving himself on an underage girl on tape, which is against the law.
Okay. But let's examine this whole peeing thing. So I can pee in the toilet and it's okay. But if I pee on a person, it's like not okay?
Well, yeah.
Well, what if I'm peeing and Huey's in the bathroom and I accidentally pee on Huey? Should I go to jail?
What the hell would I be doing in the bathroom while you're in the bathroom?
Hold up. Remember when we used to sleep in the same bed when we was littler? From time to time, I'd have a little accident.
You still do.
Shut up. So, Mr. Dubois, Mr. I wanna lock niggas up for peeing. What's the statute of limitations on bedwetting? Why not prosecute me and R. Kelly at the same time, huh?
Now, Riley, no one's going to prosecute you for bedwetting.
And you shouldn't. It's a natural bodily function. And now every nigga in the world gonna be scared to pee. I may never pee again.
Riley, it was a little girl.
Oh, I seen that girl. She ain't little. I'm little.
Yes.
Gary Coleman's little.
Yes.
Mini-Me is little.
Very.
And to the best of my knowledge, we all managed to avoid getting peed on so far.
But what about the victim?
Oh, yes, the victim. At what point does personal responsibility become a factor in this equation?
I don't think that...
I see piss coming, I move. She saw piss coming, she stayed.
Yeah, she did,
And why should I have to miss out on the next R. Kelly album just for that?
Man, you just got beat by an 8-year-old.
I think, in hindsight, being 2020, I believe a lot of shit could have been put to rest if Aaliyah would have been
open
and like when she became of age and she talked about what really happened between her and R. Kelly.
And I'm thinking in that annulment, it was an NDA.
It probably was.
It was probably an NDA.
But sometimes you just gotta...
Because I think that's how she could have, the NDA could have been included in regards to how she got out of dealing with or working with Kels.
I mean, they said in the part of the documentary that he did pay the family.
Right. But how much did he pay them?
I don't know.
See?
But I feel like at some point in time, you got to break the rules. Like, I feel like you can't... See, and this is the tricky part about niggas with money, because you can pay people to close certain doors. You can pay people to shut up. You can pay for certain conversations to never happen. Like, at some point in time, somebody has got to be like, well, we can't take this money because we need to know what happened.
Okay.
And even if it's not getting him the fuck out of here, he needs help. Like, this is deeper than just jail time. This is deeper than just somebody putting hands on him. Like, Fam is sick.
Right.
He needs help.
We've seen some of these interviews.
And we need to get dog help because he's at the point where, like, just watching the documentary, he was at the point where it was normal. He was normalizing the behavior and nothing was wrong. Like, 6 underage women in his house is just everyday routine.
Normal.
When that's not
at
normal.
all. Not at all. And what made it worse was he has kids.
Yes.
Okay, and we didn't touch that yet. He had a whole wife that he forcefully married. Like, when I say forcefully, meaning she said yes, but you forced the wedding. You had everything together the way you wanted it to be. And then you got her pregnant. You have kids by her. And you're keeping her completely separate. I didn't want to see that, bro. You keeping her completely separate from all your shenanigans. But I'm not giving her a pass either, because you're dealing with the controlling situation to the point where you go to the suicide line and the domestic abuse website, and you're checking off every single box from this questionnaire but 2, and you're in a bad situation. You've also played a blind eye to some of the things that probably was blatantly in your face. Just like folks who get cheated on in a relationship, not everybody knows that you're not going down this path. Everybody not know that you didn't know that he or she was cheating on you. The evidence is there. You're just playing a blind eye to it. And I get, like, certain situations, like if your recording artists are chilling in the house with Kels and y'all are doing A, B, C, D, okay, that's the recording team. That's like if y'all come over by my house, we're recording the pod. Teresa's not going to look at whoever we have as guests as being anything more than just guests.
Right.
Okay? But if you know this is not our recording day, and the same 1 or 2 chicks who were here for recording is here on a random day, and we're watching Gotham, and I ain't ran it past you.
You should probably ask questions.
Exactly. Okay? But I guess, being in a domestically abused situation, to not get your head knocked off, you don't ask questions.
And I mean, she even said, like, the man cannot read or write well.
Right.
So you cannot do the shit he does alone.
Facts.
Somebody has to.
His staff.
Somebody's got to write the checks. And you know what, not to get off topic, but knowing that this nigga sucks at, like, basic skills, how the fuck has nobody robbed R.Kelly for money?
You know what the sad part is? He has such a well-knit group of people protecting him and his mentality, you can't.
Cause, nigga, let me find out you can't read or write well, man. I'm finna double up everything.
Hey, nigga, we watched the Mike Tyson documentary.
You like, you got paid how much? You didn't see it. Goddamn.
Did you see the Mike Tyson one for HBO?
Nah, but I heard Don King was fucking that nigga royally.
Man, dog, he was getting fucked so bad. Vince McMahon was the one who helped Mike Tyson get shit together.
Bruce Pritchard said that on the podcast, that Vince McMahon, because they was thinking about managing him at one point in time, but Mike didn't do it.
Yeah, because what basically happened was, like, it was payout time for WrestleMania 13. So, Vince is sitting down with his attorneys and everybody, and he's going over, okay, I'm going to give you $5 million for this, right? But here's the expenses from when we started this program up to WrestleMania that we're going to deduct out of the $5 million. So, like, hotel accommodations, food expenses, all the normal stuff that you get charged for. And when they brung up the bill, Vince sat Mike down, like, no lawyers, no nothing, and said, I was like, hey, man, have you talked to your camp? Because we're going over the expense reports, and there's shit in here that I think you need to be aware of. He showed that Mike was being charged like $1,000 for some towels from the hotel because his Don King and his peoples was hiding their money or getting money out of Mike via small things that you never thought of. So the hotel could cost $1,000, but they would charge like $30,000 worth of expenses written under the hotel when it's time to do his expense reports. So you thinking like, Mike, you just stayed in a $30,000 hotel. Like, no, nigga, you stayed in a $5,000 hotel, and we got $25,000 out of you doing small stuff. That robe you put on, the hotel might have cost you $15 to wear that robe, but we tacked it up as $1,500.
Yo, niggas is low down.
And they were getting, like, Vince sat down, was like, dog, you know what? We're going to give you our accountants and our attorneys. I got you, free of charge. I'm not even going to charge you for that. Get this together. So Vince's accountants sat down with Mike, pulled all of Mike's books. When I tell you, Mike had made about maybe $500 million. Okay, $500 million.
I never saw it.
Don King got at least $350 million out of him. Because he couldn't read or write and he didn't know nothing, he never realized he was in this situation. Never.
Man, that's fucked up though. Like when you taking advantage of people.
Like you can't take advantage of people. Like, and I think that's the thing it was with Kells, because Kelly has so much money coming. Like, think about it. Kells never had a single album that ever flopped.
Not in his early days. I don't know about this shit he putting out now.
Well, this shit he putting out now, we sick of his shit. So we at that point right now where, like, nigga, at the time, you in your late 40s. You got to put grown music out. You don't see Scarface out here still making songs about, trapping in the streets or not. Nah, this nigga's making music about being grown and making grown decisions where it's a bitch that he don't want to fuck on, but he horny, so fuck it, I'm gonna get up and go fuck this bitch, but I don't want to put up with her shit, though.
I mean, can R.Kelly really make grown music?
It's R&B. Yes, you can make grown music, but I see the problem with making grown music because you don't hang out with fucking grown-ups.
My point exactly. I just... And just to cover a couple other things. So, one of the things, like, outside of you being a pedophile and we want you to get help for pedophilia and take your camera away from you and introduce you to older women. Take his camera.
Take your camera. Because that's his think about it. At the end of the day, his downfall was his camera.
Yeah, like, nobody knows what you... Not saying it's right, but if you don't videotape yourself, nobody knows what you really into.
Like, for an example, you guys can sit up here and swear up and down I'm embezzling money out Tone Deaf Radio.
We don't got no proof that you did it.
Exactly. Now, if I sat here and had a fucking camera hovering over my desk as I do the books, and you clearly see me take a petty cash drawer of money and stuff it in my book bag, well, if I get arrested, that's my own damn fault. Right, and that's basically what Kells did. If you've ever been in Kells' house, or if they ever did a search warrant to Kells' house, you would see that magical wooden room in the video where he peeing on the bitch at is in this fucking house. So you can't sit here and say, no, that's not me, I'm not in that video, when there's a whole fucking room to prove it. You're not in a hotel. You're not in a plain white wall room. You are in a custom-made room in your house.
Some niggas just shouldn't have money.
Now, let's not forget other dumb shit going on. Like your boy in the background saying, Robert, you got a phone call. Hey, Kells, the phone is for you.
First of all, why you still got a house phone? But
this was during the house. It was the 90s, bruh. Cell phones had barely hit the market. Barely. But even then, that still wasn't the most fucked up thing he did. The most fucked up thing he did, people, if you did not know, was while dealing with a certain young lady. We're going to have to watch the documentary to find out who this young lady is. He gave this chick mono, got her pregnant, dropped her off at the hospital, and rolled out.
Don't forget, he sent her family $1,000.
Oh, yeah, sent the family $1,000. Now, I don't know if the $1,000 was for the medical bills, for the abortion, or hush money.
Well, she had a miscarriage, so it wasn't for abortion.
Okay. So she did end up having a miscarriage, and that's how she found out she had mono? Or did she have mono and then had the miscarriage?
He told her, she told him she was pregnant.
Okay.
She ended up having a miscarriage.
Okay.
He wrote the song for Michael.
Well, hold on. We'll get to that part.
This is because the mono happened last.
Okay.
So she told Kels she was pregnant.
Okay.
Then she had the miscarriage.
Okay.
R.Kelly writes a song for her.
What song was this?
This is the nastiest song in the world.
It is now, but what's the name of the song? For those who didn't know.
R.Kelly writes "You're Not Alone" for this young lady.
Now, people, if you did not know that this "You Are Not Alone" song, when this song was dropped, Michael had just gotten into a relationship with Priscilla Presley, right?
Lisa
Marie Presley. I just Presley. Fucking one of those. So in the video, it makes it seem as if Mike is singing to his new wife.
Right.
And I think she was pregnant in the video too, wasn't she?
Yes.
Yes. So you would think like Mike is singing to his new wife about a song of "You're not going to go through this pregnancy alone. I'm here with you. I'm by your side. Even though I'm far away, I'm still here with you." And then we get notification that it's
he's
fucking about a teenager who miscarried.
So you told the chick who went through a miscarriage that she was not alone.
You are here for her.
And even though you're far away, you're here to stay. Filthy.
Filthy in a motherfucker.
Mike sings the song, even filthier.